the new classical physics that is on the horizon. Friends, as you may have already seen in my proposals, I understand that quantum mechanics, and, to a large extent, relativity and the Standard Model, are completely erroneous theories and inconsistent with the physical reality of the cosmos. They have been imposed by an elite, let's say, Western or Anglo-Saxon, who, distancing themselves from true research and real observation of physical events, which is so laborious and tedious in practice, have dedicated themselves to inventing eminently mathematical formulas and laws, so as not to bother themselves too much with practical and real research, so hard and slow, and to manipulate at will what must happen in the cosmos, imposing their laws and points of view, even though these have nothing to do with reality. But of course, such a fad and state of folly has its days numbered, and I believe it is already coming to an end. So, the question would be, but what kind of physics will replace it? Well, the usual, classical physics, but with updated conclusions and explanations. To this end, I believe my model can be quite explanatory of this structural physics of the cosmos, since over the last 40 years I have had time to study and explain a large number of elements, parameters, formulas, etc., since in my opinion I have been fortunate enough to have no competition and therefore plenty of time to carry out these studies. That is, I have had all of classical physics to myself, without competition, for a long time. Of course, I cannot present all my conclusions in a simple explanation or a simple video, but they are available on various websites on the internet, some of which I will present. Now, to begin explaining, I do so by presenting simple basic or primary data about the cosmos, in this case, about the basic or initial structure of the cosmos. The two basic elements with which the creation of our universe or cosmos begins are A. Space, as the stage where this creativity occurs, and B. Universal motion, which, when combined with space, creates cosmic energy, A plus B, that fills the entire cosmos. AB. Cosmic energy develops throughout the cosmos as rectilinear forces in each and every direction of space, which is why forces always tend to run in straight lines. AB. 1. Gravity. Well, when energy lines are directed, acted upon, or concentrated toward any point in space, they add up and condense in their center in the form of concentrated or condensed energy, that is, matter, particles, atoms, stars, etc. AB. 2. Magnetic forces. Later, when these cosmic energy lines pass beyond the nuclei of matter, they no longer concentrate, but rather expand outward from the material nuclei and form magnetic fields and lines of expansion, as seen in magnets, the magnetic fields of planets, stars, etc. These magnetic fields are responsible for propelling and sustaining, with positive charges, the orbitals or satellites revolving or rotating around the central nuclei, as seen in the drawings. These magnetic fields vary in intensity depending on the size of the material nuclei that produce them. They reach high potentials in the large nuclei of mass and matter, causing them to expand and eventually explode, as occurs with large atoms, erroneous, or large stars such as supernovae. That is, expansion magnetic fields are minimal in small accumulations of matter, but they increase, organizing and sustaining positive orbits around these material nuclei when they are medium-sized, and eventually explode when they acquire excessive magnetic potentials. Thus, as we can see, these two antagonistic forces, gravity and magnetic forces, are what construct all the orbital systems that structure the cosmos in its different forms, levels, and extent: electrons and their neutrinos, planets and their moons, atoms and their electrons, stars and their planets, galactic centers and their stellar arms, etc. That is, everything and at all levels of the cosmos is structured by orbital systems, nuclei with orbitals around them. Therefore, as we said, quantum mechanics is pure imagination. Evidence: well, at both the atomic and stellar levels, we have verified and measured that the same elements exist, with the same relative dimensions, and with the same acting forces. Well friends, this is the end of this simple and basic explanation.